Hi everybody, this is Sunbeams 3, lesson number 29. So we're on our fourth week away from the studio, and I'm really glad that I still get to see you every week for a short solo time and be able to do this lesson for you. So we're going to start today with the welcome song. Let me play the cadence. And I have two dice. I have one that has dynamics on it, and dynamics is fortissimo and piano and mezzo forte and decrescendo and those things. So I'm going to throw it, and it says fortissimo, so that means we're going to sing the welcome song very loud. And then I also have a tempo dice, which is the speed of the music, like allegro or andante, and so I'll throw that. And it says moderato, and we know that moderato is in the middle, not too fast and not too slow. So we're going to sing the welcome song fortissimo, very loud, and moderato, not too fast and not too slow. Here we go. When the sun peeks from behind the clouds, the sunbeams sing and play. We will be together in the sun. It is our music day. Then we'll see. Join us in the fun. Clap your hands and tap your toes. Keep time with everyone. All right, so we're going to start today with our tin sheet. And so we need 3 magnets on our tin sheet. And we're going to talk about F major for a few minutes. So we started F major last week, and we know that the key signature is B flat. And we know that the fingering for the right hand is unusual, right? We use 4 instead of 3. So we have to play 1 on F, 2 on G, 3 on A, 4 on B flat, and then we tuck our thumb under, 1 on C, 2 on D, 3 on E, and 4 on F. So we never use our finger 5 in the right hand of the F major scale. So that was new last week. In the left hand, we play the scale, and the fingering is the usual fingering. We use 5 on F, 4 on G, 3 on A, 2 on B flat, 1 on C, and then we bring finger 3 over D, and then finger 2 is for E, and 1 is for F. So that's the usual fingering. Today what I'd like to do is I'd also like to add the F major scale with chords in the left hand. And so I'd like you to take your tin sheet out. You're going to need 3 magnets and a flat, and you can go ahead and do that. Press pause while you get that ready. And now if you're ready with your tin sheet, we are going to make a 1 chord for F major. So I'm just going to come closer to the screen so you can see my tin sheet. And so, of course, if we're making a 1 chord for F major, it starts on F, and then we build our snowman above. So it's F, A, C is the snowman chord or the 1 chord for F major. So you'll want to have a look at that in your book where the F major scale is in the W pages if you forget what this chord is. So make the 1 chord. Once you made the 1 chord, then I want you to make a hugging chord. So remember, a hugging chord, his foot drops into the hole and the middle note comes up to hug the top note. And so this would be the hugging 5-7 chord for F major. But we're missing something. You're going to need to grab a flat from your magnets, and of course F major has a B flat in it. So this middle note here in the chord, and that's never happened before. We haven't had a chord with the middle note on any of the other keys that we've practiced. So the hugging 5-7 chord for F major is E on the bottom, then B flat and C on the top, hugging. And so this is the hugging 5-7. So go ahead and make it on your tin sheet. When you've made that, then you want to go back to your hugging chord. So bring the hug back down, push his foot out of the hole, and you're back to the snowman chord. So of course, for the four chord or the nosy chord for F major, you have to push this note up one because he's peeking over the fence, and then this note comes up one because he needs a scarf, he's a snowman, and of course we're going to need our flat again because the middle note of this chord is also B flat. So the the nosy four chord is F on the bottom, B flat in the middle, and D on the top. So go ahead and make that on your tin sheet as well. And then in your W pages where the F major scale is, you want to color these three chords on that page. And so of course the 1 chord is the pink chord, the 5/7 chord is the blue chord, and the nosy 4 chord is the yellow chord. So color those in your book, and so at this point press pause, color the chords, and then play those 3 chords on the piano. When you finish playing them, then press play again and go on with the rest of the lesson. So we're going to practice the chords for F major: 1 chord, 5/7 chord, and the 4 chord. All right, so now that you've practiced the chords for F major, that's one of the things that you're going to add to your practice time this week. So go ahead and do your mom can write that into the activities book at the top, the F major scale right hand, the F major scale left hand, and the F major scale with the chords in the left hand as well. I'd like you now to turn in your book to L30, and we're going to do a listening exercise there. So if you turn to L30 in your book, I will show you what we're going to do. I'll explain it and then we'll get started. So on this page, you have what's called a dynamic map. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song, and I'm going to change the dynamic level, which is the louds and the quiets, 4 times. So at the beginning of the song, I played, and then you'll decide, what did I play? Did I play forte? Did I play piano quiet? Did I play with the crescendo? Did I play with the decrescendo? And so you'll want to decide what I played there, and you can press pause while you're thinking about that if you want. And then we're going to the second part of the song, and I may change it and do a different dynamic there, and then we keep going, and I'll play more of the song, and then the dynamic level will change again, and you'll decide what that was. And then at the end of the song, I'll do one more dynamic level here at the bottom. And so you just have to put in what you think the dynamic level was. I'm going to play it on my keyboard, the song for you, and I'll play it and stop, and then you can decide, and you can press pause then, and then I'll play a little bit more, and then press pause, and then I'll play a little bit more, press pause, and then I'll play the ending. And then after that, I'm going to play the whole song through just the way I played it, just for you to double check, and then after that, I'll give you the answers. Okay? So L30, and this is our listening exercise. So there are different dynamics: forte, piano, pianissimo, fortissimo, a crescendo, a decrescendo. Maybe it'll be mezzo forte, MF, or mezzo piano, MP. You decide, and then I'll let you know after what the answers were. So L30. Okay, here's part 1. So that was part 1. Press pause and decide. All right, now I'm going on to part 2. And that was part 2. Now we're on to part 3. That was part 3, and here's part 4. And that was part 4. All right, now I'm going to play the whole song for you. And so listen carefully, just go through and follow along so that you can see and make sure maybe you want to make some changes. So here's the whole song from start to finish. So the answers for L30 was at the top, I played piano quiet. Then I went to a crescendo. I gradually got louder on part 2. Then on part 3, I played forte. And on part 4, I did a decrescendo, gradually getting quieter. I hope you were able to hear that on the recording. If you didn't get all the right answers, though, it's okay. And so thanks for doing that with me. I'd like you to now take out your Bright Ideas book, and I'd like you to go to page 104 in your Bright Ideas book. So we're going to talk a little bit about some new homework ideas today. And so press pause, get page 104, and come on back and press play. So on 104, it talks about building a lollipop keyboard. Well, what on earth is a lollipop keyboard? So I have my whiteboard here today, and I'm going to show you what they mean. Sometimes when you do Bright Ideas or music homework, you don't have your tin sheet with you, or you don't have a keyboard available to you. So what they've done is they've given you an option to draw a lollipop keyboard to use as a keyboard when you're doing your Bright Ideas pages. And so what they want you to do is they want you to draw 5 lollipops like I've done here. So I drew 5 lollipops. I had 2 together, and then I had a bit of a space, and then I drew 3 more lollipops. So they want you to do that, and then what you can do is actually, if you look at this, it looks a bit like a keyboard. So this would be C, and this would be the black key, C sharp or D flat, and then we have D, and then we have E, so we can draw a line between these two, and then this would be F over here, because remember there's no black key to go to, and then this would be G, and this would be A, and over here would be B, and then we draw another line like this, and C is on this side. And so now we've made a whole octave of a lollipop keyboard. So on the second line on page 104 in your Bright Ideas book, I'd like you to draw a lollipop keyboard. So press pause now and go ahead and do that on line number 2 of page 104. Once you've got that lollipop keyboard, then you can use that, tear that page out, and they give you another line of practice to draw another lollipop keyboard, and then tear that page out, and we're going to talk about page 105. 105 is going to be one of our homework pages for this week, and so we're going to talk about something new called a semitone. And so perhaps you've heard the word in music class before because we may have used it. A semitone is just a step. So it's a step up on the piano or it's a step down on the piano. You just go to the very next note to the left or you go to the very next note to the right, and that would be what we call a semitone or a half step. So using my lollipop keyboard that I have here, I want to go 1 semitone above F. So here's F, and if I go 1 semitone above F, I have to go to the black key because we have to touch every key. We use black keys and white keys. So 1 semitone above F would be F sharp, or we know it as G flat as well. So that is 1 semitone above F. F sharp or G flat, either answer would be correct. So now I want to go 1 semitone below D. So I go to D, and I go 1 semitone below. So if I'm going below, then I'm going to the left. So 1 semitone below D is D flat. or C sharp, and either answer again would be correct. And so on page 105, you have a keyboard and you have a note that's starred, and you just have to circle the note that's one semitone above that note, so that's to the right, or one semitone below that note. Now what about when you have just white keys and no black key in between? If I want to go one semitone below F, one semitone below F is just E. Or one semitone above B would just be C. So you're always going one note to the right, whether it's a white key or a black key. So you just have to circle that on page 105. Sometimes it will say circle a note that's one semitone above, and sometimes it will say circle a note that's one semitone below. So that's page 105 in your Bright Ideas book. So that's one of your homework pages for this week. All right, so now what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk a little bit about some other homework pages that you're going to do. I looked at some of your homework with the 6/8 time and adding the rest, and it was looking good. There's a few little things, and I'll talk to you about those things in solo time today when I meet you for listening to your pages. So W22 I'll be listening to, and I'll be listening to K43 as well as E32, Mary Had a Little Lamb. So make sure you have those things ready for me, and I will also at that time talk to you about your homework. So I want to talk today just a little bit about 6/8 time. Last week I sent you a page with 6/8 rhythms on it, and I asked you to use one a day to clap, and then I asked you to also make a melody, choose one of the lines and make a melody in F major using the F major pentascale. So I also will be listening to that at solo time. I'm sending out a new page to you today, and that page is also 6/8 rhythms, and you're going to use one line per practice. But it's going to look a little bit different. So I've done a couple examples for you so that you can see what you'll be clapping. So the rhythms that you're going to be clapping are in 6/8 time, but you're going to be using two hands instead of just clapping it regularly. So when you see the notes, so I'm going to kind of go like this so that we don't have that glare on there. Let's see if we can turn this a little bit so that we don't have that. There, hopefully that's better and you can see that. So this is in 6/8 time, and in 6/8 time, all of the notes that have the stems going up are right-hand notes, and all the notes that have stems going down are left-hand notes. So sometimes you're going to be tapping together at the same time, and sometimes you're going to be resting in one hand and tapping in the other hand. So I'm going to do an example for you. So I'm going to put this back on my stand here, and hopefully you'll be able to see that. So I'm going to just put this here, make sure that you can see. There's a little bit of a glare. Let me just move my camera just a little bit. Just give me a minute, and I'll do that, and then I'll raise my stand. Okay, so let's do that. Okay. So here's my rhythm in 6/8 time, and so my right hand is going to be tapping for the whole measure, and my left hand's just going to be tapping on beat 1, 2, and 3. So it's going to look like this. So I'm going to be doing together on 1, 2, and 3. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then my right hand's going to tap 4, 5, 6, while my left hand is resting. And then I'm going to go again. My right hand and left hand are going to be together. 1, 2, 3, and together 4, 5, 6. So hopefully you were able to see that. I'm going to do it one more time on the top of the stand so you can see my hands. So I have left hand here, and I have right hand here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's one of the examples from the sheet that I'm going to send you for rhythm for this week. I've done another example just so that you can see this one more time. So this one also in 6/8 time. I have the right hand first, and the left hand is resting, and then my right hand is going to rest while my left hand plays. So it's going to look like this. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then left hand 4, 5, 6, and then together we're going to hold for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those are a couple of the examples from the page. If you have any questions on that page at all, make sure that you text me or email me and let me know, and hopefully I can help you with that a little bit. So that's from the rhythm page. I have here on my board, one of my boards, I have some rhythm groups, and you have to add up the beats. So in 6/8 time, how many beats does 3 T's joined together get? If your answer was 3, that's the correct answer. So this would be 3 beats for that one in 6/8 time. In 6/8 time, if I have a ta and a t, the ta gets 2 beats and the t gets 1. So that would be 3. And then I have a ta dot, which gets another 3. So we know that 3 plus 3 equals, and if your answer was 6, that's the correct answer. And the last one on the bottom of the page, in 6/8 time, a T receives 1 beat. And so your answer here would be 1. You have a Bright Ideas page, page 179, and it's an Easter egg, and I realize I'm a week overdue for that page, but it's a coloring page, and you're going to color based on how many beats are in that section. So if it's 3 beats, you'll color 1 color, and if it's 6 beats, you'll color another color, and if it's 1 beat, you'll color a different color. So that's a coloring exercise for you to do on page 179. So that's another one of your Bright Ideas pages. And the last Bright Ideas page that you're going to do is page 161, and it's the F major scale in the right hand. And so you want to connect notes to notes on the staff, note names to notes on the staff, and you also want to write in the fingering for the F major scale in the right hand, which we talked about at the beginning of the lesson. So if you're not sure, go to the W page where the F major scale is if you forget what the fingering is, but see if you can do it without that first, because we have been practicing it for a week already. So that's the F major scale. All right, so I'm just going to come around here, and then I want to just talk about solo time. I'm going to see you to hear your melody that you wrote in F major, your W22, your K43, and your E32 to hear the different parts this week, and hopefully you'll be able to get those together at home with your mom. Perhaps playing along with you or someone else at your house if you can. If you can't, it's all good. It doesn't matter as long as you've learned all 3 parts. The last thing that I want to talk about before I say goodbye is recital songs. So I know that we won't be able to have a recital, most likely that's together as a group. We won't be able to meet like that, but I am going to assign each of you a recital piece, and I would like you to start working on them, and hopefully at the end of May we can have a Zoom meeting where we have a recital and everyone can play their pieces for each other. So also at solo time, I will be giving you that recital piece. So make sure you remind me so that I don't forget. All right, so hopefully you're all well and getting some practice in and able to manage everything with your schoolwork. So I miss seeing you at the studio every week, but I'm really happy to be able to still have these lessons. So I hope you have a great day. So long. Farewell, our music class is over. We sang a bit and played a bit, and now it's time to study it. See you next time. Have a great day. Bye.